3 GRA employees and a police officer charged for driver's license fraud. 3 charged for stealing $5.4 million in hair. Non-stop flights from Havana to Georgetown start next month. And $11.6 billion spent on Gaisuko with no profits in sight. I am Noriko Bolford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. 3 GRA employees and a police constable have been charged for issuing fraudulent driver's licenses. SOCU identified the employees as Rigol Jack, Akeem Martin, and Ruth Williams, and the police special constable, Winston Small. The 4 persons were all charged on Monday with computer-related forgery. They pleaded not guilty to the charges and were all granted bail in the sum of $100,000 each. Their cases were adjourned to August 29th. The Education Ministry's annual school child grant will be increased this year, according to Minister Manikchan. While she didn't say the exact number, she did hint that it would be at least $50,000 per child. So, good for all you parents out there. Hopefully you get your piece. An autopsy of the body of 23-year-old Wyndon Bacchus found that he was reportedly shot 6 times to the body and once to the head. The police's version of events is that he attempted to sell an illegal firearm to the undercover cop who shot him. However, witnesses claim that Bacchus and the cop in question actually had an ongoing feud up until the shooting, thus adding to the public speculation that the police are not being forthcoming with the facts on the matter. When questioned by reporters on Sunday as to whether the undercover operation, quote-unquote, operation they spoke of, was actually sanctioned by the police force, and if the commander of the division was even aware of said operation, as usual, the head of the police force's public relations department, Mark Ramatar, had no answers to give. But he did promise to give some answers later, but here we are on Tuesday, and yet no answers. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben has, through an official order signed under the Prison Act, designated a special lockup for police ranks. The order identifies the facility to be used as one located at the police headquarters at Eve Leary in Georgetown. The facility, designated as a Tactical Services Unit lockup, will contain all that is expected a typical detention site would have. The officer who shot Bacchus, by the way, is said to currently be in custody at said facility. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is the 2016 Suzuki Jimmy Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, Bluetooth mud grips, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $3.4 million, or pay as low as $700,000 down with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them the Rico sent you for this sweet deal. Yesterday, 29-year-old Marlon Campbell, 26-year-old Karon Williams, and 29-year-old Trevon Williams were charged with breaking and entering, as well as larceny, in relation to the theft of $5.4 million in braids and weaves on June 3, 2022. The 3 accused were arrested last Monday following a tip-off to the police. The 3 were all remanded to prison on June 26, 2022. The braids and weave, by the way, were also recovered. The police are currently investigating the death of 64-year-old gold miner Donald Gavaya. Gavaya died following a mining pit collapse at Makobi Bakdam, Region 8, on June the 13th. According to the police report, Gavaya and 3 others were working in a 70-foot deep sandy pit when a portion of the pit wall caved in, covering everyone in the pit. The others managed to free themselves with little or no injury. However, Gavaya was taken out of the pit in an unconscious state with an injury to the head and was taken to the hospital where he was declared dead on arrival. 49-year-old Christopher Dexter Garraway was arrested after he was found with a quantity of ecstasy pills on Monday. However, his arrest comes 2 years after he was found not guilty of being the supplier of $6.5 million worth of cocaine and cannabis. However, a porter was instead fined $19.7 million and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for said cocaine and cannabis. However, the 4 parcels containing 400 pills of ecstasy weighed a total of 150.7 grams and had a street value of $600,000. For the best crotch in Guyana, wait, That should read, for all size of clutch disc and pressure plates for heavy-duty trucks in Guyana, check out Powered Automotive. Get this and other high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles. Or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. According to a press release from the Embassy of Guyana in Cuba, a new arrangement will see Fly Always flying once a week, every Saturday morning, from the Chedi Jagan International Airport to the Jose Marti International Airport in Havana, Cuba, and returning the same day in the afternoon. The schedule from the airlines will be in the public domain very soon. However, the inaugural flight from Chedi Jagan will take place on July 16th, 2022. Two men posing as passengers robbed 4 women in a Route 31 minibus on Sunday. The police said the suspects joined the minibus at good intent on the west side with clearly bad intent. But when they reached Leopold and Lombard Streets in Georgetown, the suspects asked to be put off, and while exiting, one of the suspects pulled out a gun and robbed the 4 female passengers. The police said while the suspects were escaping, they shot a round at the minibus. The bullet hit the front left passenger door. They always seem to do this for some reason. Like, why do they always fire off that random shot afterwards? I mean, clearly we have terrible ballistics analysis here because, come on, they do this all the time. You'd have thought they'd get caught by now. Anyway, enough of that. It's now time for today's oil update. With the pace of growth within Guyana's oil industry, at least one of the partners in the Starboard Block has signaled an exit from the United States and other developments to focus on projects in Guyana and Suriname. Hess Corporation CEO John Hess recently confirmed that the company has seen its fortunes grow with its interest in the Starboard Block in Guyana. With regards to investments in the Permian Basin in the United States, Hess explained that while the company plans to add another rig there, it intends to cap its investments there to focus the next several years of development in the region here. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, K-9 services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? In less than 2 years, the government has sunk more than 11.6 billion Guyana dollars into Gaisuco, and the only thing they can show for it is a packaging plant. We were promised that Wales and Morskeldon and Rose Hall estates would be reopened and economically feasible. But here we are 2 years later, and only Rose Hall estate was reopened. But they closed down the remainder of Enmore estate, and Iflut is basically out of service for now. Then we were told that while they were working to reopen their estates, they don't anticipate that it would even be profitable anytime soon. In fact, the government has recently moved the goalpost further and declared that they would receive significant government funding until 2026. Yes, Gaisuco will continue to receive government money until 2026, even though it continues to not gain a profit. Now, I understand the desire to fulfill a campaign promise, but I really don't believe it is a wise decision to continue giving life support to this zombie industry. In fact, at this point, I'm entirely convinced that it may even be actually cheaper for the state to just give those 7,000 sugar workers a monthly check for doing absolutely nothing than to run this industry at a loss. And if you ask me, this whole situation is pretty stupid. Now for our uncut news, views poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday we asked about police brutality and police shootings and your opinion on it. One Love says, wait a minute, I did not hear any news on the death of Mr. Knight at the Lenora police station while he was never booked for the offense they stated he committed. What's up with that one? You know, you are absolutely correct. We will be sure to follow up on that matter. Jenna J says the police should face more consequences for their actions and not slaps on the wrist. Police get away with way too much to the point that they outright are disrespectful in the way they talk and handle situations. It makes me wonder what training they really got at the academy. Very limited and outdated training, unfortunately. That's why we need to update it. And finally, Barefoot Wanderer actually asked about Dr. Walter Rodney and asked if we can talk about what he advocated for, how his intellectual stance played a part in Guyana's history, and what's the story around his murder, why he was murdered, and who are the suspects. Dr. Walter Rodney is an integral part of Guyana's history, so tell the story and educate the people. He deserves more than 5 seconds. You are honestly correct. that man's life deserves a mini-series, in fact more than what we can ever say in just one episode here. But I'll see what little summary I can prepare for tomorrow. So before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easily by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. The government has already sunk over $11.6 billion into Kaisuko over the past 2 years with no sign of profits in sight. So with that in mind, I want to know, do you think we should continue to support the sugar industry? Or should we sell it off? Or should we diversify? I mean, what should we do so that this will stop sucking from our nation's coffers? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.